okay?
Hey guys, it's Santa Gamer. I wanted to bring you an episode on what I consider the best single player experience of 2016. Now, this was an extremely difficult decision for me because two very good games contended with the top spot. One was Doom. It was a phenomenal game. The story was awesome. It wasn't a in-depth, great story, blah blah blah, but it was Doom. It was run around, shoot demons in the face. It looked beautiful. The story was enough for a Doom game, as much as you can expect, and it just was an overall good game. The reason that it didn't win is because Titanfall's actual story just gripped me. It had everything. It was a very emotional road that we took down. It was a very good game, very well thought out story. It was fun, it was long, it was just all around everything that I would need to consider a game a good single player experience. The campaign in total was about 5 to 7 or 8 hours long, but it wasn't just run around, shoot 'em up. There was a lot that was involved with it. You had to use your Titan correctly. You had to use your pilot skills correctly. There were collectible achievements. There was just a lot packed into this game, and it isn't anything like the first one. In the first one, it was kind of a weird multiplayer, single player experience where you just kind of played on different maps, and this was your campaign mode. In Titanfall 2, there's an actual campaign mode. Your single player experience, you're going through a story, you have to use your abilities, you have to use your skill, you have to use your Titan's abilities and skill, and your Titan BT will actually level up kind of as you progress through the story. And when I say level up, I mean get new abilities, get new bodies, things of that nature. So there's no level or progression system in that regard, but there are different weapon changes and things like that as you progress through the story. In addition to all of that, there are different quote-unquote boss fights throughout the game. As you can see right now, I'm fighting one that is Viper. He was, for whatever reason for me, an extremely difficult boss. He can fly indefinitely. He has a rocket barrage that you can't block unless you're very close to him. And he has a railgun, so tons of fun. It was a very challenging but fun and difficult fight. It was one of many. There are a multitude of boss fights throughout the campaign, and it just kind of adds more to that single player experience. Overall, it was a very good game. I would highly recommend picking it up if you haven't. It definitely went under the radar with Battlefield 1 being released very, very close to Titanfall 2. But please, if you want to have an enjoyable weekend, and the multiplayer is absolutely phenomenal as well, go ahead, go onto EA, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. You'll definitely get your money's worth, and I think at the end of the day, you will be glad that you found it and glad that you bought it. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, there were a couple honorable mentions, Doom being one of them. Personally, I can't wait until they release the sequel to that. Doom was a phenomenal experience. I think it took me about 10 to 13 hours to beat Doom on the Nightmare setting. Not Ultra Nightmare, just Nightmare, because I'm not crazy. Ultra Nightmare, you can't die, essentially. If you die, you restart the level, and it's a GG. With Nightmare, it's still really difficult, but it's still really enjoyable as well. If you're well versed in shooters, can get your positioning down and everything like that, you can have a ton of fun playing Nightmare with Doom, and it really brings back some of those old memories. In addition to the game itself, the soundtrack was phenomenal. If I had to rate best single player just based on soundtrack, Doom would win every day of the week, hands down, not a question about it. Another really good single-player game that came out in 2016 that I had waited for quite some time was Fallout 4. Fallout 4 did get a couple expansions. It was a phenomenal game in and of itself, but to me, I'm not sure what it was. It just felt like it was missing something, and I wasn't 100% sure what it was. I personally really enjoyed Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, but Fallout 4 just wasn't quite up there yet for me. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it, leave a thumbs down if you didn't, and leave a comment letting me know what you liked or didn't like about this video. I'm going to be releasing these pretty regularly now, so I hope that you guys all tune in and have a good time doing it. Alright, thanks again. Have a good night. Hey guys, so a couple days ago I put out a tweet that said, would you be interested in a